Ainsley here from Small Fry Creations, and this week I'm going to show you how you can make a simple side table with a marble effect out of resin on top. Let me show you how I did it. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to cut the circle to our side table, which is the top. Now, because I'm going to be doing a really cool marble effect in resin, I have just used some 16mm MDF that I've got here, so I'm going to cut my circle out of that. Now, you will need a circle cutting jig. Now, you can go and buy these, but I really think you can make one in a couple of minutes from some scrap you've got lying around the workshop. I will leave a link in the description to the one that I have made, which is copying April Wilkerson's, because we have the same router. What you need to do basically is just take your router base plate, measure out where your screws need to go, and then you cut out a big hole in the middle for your bit to come through, and then you're ready to go. So it is fairly simple, and I think we can do it. From our bit, I'm going to measure out 200mm, which will give me a total diameter of 400mm for my circle. So let's get this cut, and then we can get moving on to the base. We've got our circle cut, so now we can start working on the base. The base is made up of 42mm width pine, which I'm going to stain walnut later on. I'm going to work on the very bottom part of the base, which is made up of 3 sections, because I find this the most complicated, so I want to get this out of the way. You may not, but I definitely do. So I'm going to rough cut 3 pieces to 220mm, and then we'll head to the workbench. I'll show you how we're going to do the angles, and then we'll get cutting again. Got our 3 pieces cut, so now we can start drawing out our angles. Now this is actually easier than it looks, but it took me a while on SketchUp to work it out. So what I need to do is I need to measure halfway in. So I'm working with 42mm length timber, or width timber, so mine is going to be 21mm. I need to draw a line down the middle, and then from that middle I need to cut a 30-degree angle off each side. So I'll just put in some marks here so that you can see what I'm talking about. So I'm going to set my miter saw up to 30 degrees, and then I'm going to get these angles cut, and then from this top measurement down to the end, I will then cut that to 200mm. I've got all my angles cut and everything fits together really nicely. If I have any gaps after glue up, I'll fill them in with wood putty, but at this point they're looking good. I have also cut everything to final length, which is 200mm. Now before I get to glue up, what I want to do is put a rabbet in the ends for a couple of reasons. A, it's going to make a stronger joint, so that's a bonus, and I want to minimize the end grain. Because I'm staining this, the stain will take to the end grain differently to what it will to the face grain, so I want to try and keep it as even possible, so I want to minimize the end grain where I can. I've got an offcut which I will use to mark out where my rabbet needs to go. I'll set up the table saw, get those rabbets cut, and then I will get this base piece in glue up. You know you've done well when all of your lines are coming to a point in the middle so they look perfect. So now we're going to start cutting our legs. I'm going to cut them at 520 mil. That'll bring my total side table height to around about that 550 mil mark, which is around about normal. So let's get those 3 cut, then I can get these glued into the rabbets, and then really it's just up to marbling the top and then gluing everything together. Base is all glued together. This is now ready to be sanded and it can start to have its stain applied, which is what we're going to get to next. But there was one thing that I was worried about. As I was designing and building this, I was worried about how I was going to secure the top to the legs. Now I could glue it, it probably would be fine, but I'm not 100% sure, and it is going to a client, so I want to make sure that it is secure. The other idea that I came up with was that I could pocket hole screw it from the inside straight into the base, but then I was staining it. I didn't really want to be able to see the pocket holes. If I was painting it, to be honest, it's probably what I would do. But I'm staining it, so I'm going to go with a different route. I have cut myself out of 6mm MDF the same size circle, which is 400mm, and I'm going to use this to secure the top to the base. I will paint the outside of this black, which should blend in with the black resin that will eventually be on this top, and then I can glue this straight onto the top of there. So let's get this sanded and the stain finished, and then let's get going. We're up to the point where we are going to make our marble effect on our tabletop. So to do this, we are going to use resin. Now I have gone into detail previously about how to mix resin and how to use it. I'm going to leave a link in the description below if you want to check that out, because I'm not going to go into detail about it today. I have got black, which is going to be my base, and then I'm going to use the white for the marbling effect. I'm going to move the camera over closer so that you can get a closer look, and I'm going to talk you through how we get the effect. So let's get going. So that you can see what you're doing. The first thing I'm going to do is use my black, and I'm going to flood pretty much this entire part, this entire board with black. So let's pour. Make sure you're getting all that side. We want the sides to be as dark as possible because we want to be able to match it to that base that we've just painted. We're going to take our white, we're going to use our paddle pop stick, and we're going to make little strands across the board in a different, whatever pattern you would like. Like so. We're going to get our straw. We're going to blow just gently to move these lines out a little bit, just to make it a little bit more like it's been cracked. And then we're going to tip it to make it look, give that marble effect.